All right. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing today? And welcome to the PreStream podcast for Saturday, the 2nd of April, 2022. I'm Darkside Phil. Welcome to the stream. My one and only stream for today. Admittedly, hectic stuff going on around here. Was rushing to do a bunch of stuff before I actually got the stream up and running this morning. As a result of all the stuff that I'm doing, as you know, I can only do one stream today. I could only do one stream a couple days ago. Because I'm currently, I get gas. Woo! Jeez, excuse me, it's disgusting. Got stuff I'm working on for my taxes, and it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of stress, quite frankly. This morning I was doing a bunch of stuff, behind the scenes. And later tonight, I cannot do a late night stream because I have to sit down and crunch a ridiculous amount of numbers, get them together, submit them to my tax guy, and hope for the best, even though I don't even know if I'm going to finish it tonight. So, only one stream today, everyone. Today it's going to be the PreStream podcast right now, and it's going to be Elden Ring afterward. There will be no second stream today, but we will get back to usual tomorrow with a double stream day. Now, depending on how much I get done tonight, we may actually have a double stream day on Monday, which I would love. I would absolutely love to play Skyrim on Monday night, but I'm not promising that. I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. I'm not that kind of guy. So I want to be sure that I'm giving myself enough time to get everything done, and therefore that's why I'm not promising that I will be here on Monday night. If everything goes well tonight, and I go through all of my stuff, and I get it all done, then Monday night I'll be here. Malcolm says I need an accountant. I mean, yeah, it would be nice. It would be nice to have an accountant. If you have any idea how much it costs, you wouldn't say that. Because I already have a tax person who takes a lot of money to file taxes. And it's not, by the way, it's not just him. Anyone who has like a tax attorney or a tax office that does their taxes for a small business like mine, it's expensive, okay? It's worth it. They make sure everything's done correctly. They get you absolutely every opportunity of a write-off. But there's not much that you can do about it. You got to pay to get it done. And can you just imagine, on top of the fact that I'm paying someone to do the tax filings and everything for me, if I was paying someone to take all the data and crunch it themselves, forget it. Seriously, forget it. And on top of that, it's so complicated. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Like, just looking at, this business as a whole, the data about income, data about expenses and everything, like, you kind of need to know what it all is to understand it. Like, to a lay person, someone who has nothing to do with online streaming, nothing to do with online content creation, or anything to do with the kind of business this is, can you imagine trying to explain to them, okay, so I receive ad revenue for my on-demand videos and streams, and that comes in this form over here, and it's calculated like this. Oh, by the way, I also have a different revenue stream, and that comes in from memberships, that comes in from super chats and super stickers. Well, what's a super chat or super sticker? Now I gotta explain that. And what's a membership? Now I gotta explain that. All right, and here's the income that comes in from that source, and it looks different, and it comes in over here. Oh, by the way, I also have revenue from other various sources. I have a Patreon, and that's this kind of revenue, and it comes in from over here, and it looks like this. Oh, and by the way, every day people come to my streams and contribute by tipping me, which helps out a ton, and that is this kind of income, and that comes in over here, and it looks like this. And every single day I have money coming in from these sources that must all be calculated in a certain way. And that's just the income side of it. You know what I mean? Like, now imagine trying to explain to someone how this works. Let me tell you, it wouldn't be cheap, because here's the thing. And this is the truth about when it comes to income, when it comes to accounting, when it comes to finance in general. If it's simple, if it's easy, it's usually cheap. Which is why most people who just have a 9-to-5 job can sit down and say, oh, I'm going to get TurboTax, or I'm going to get, what's the other one? QuickBooks. There's a QuickBooks one. There's like 2 or 3 different online programs you can use, and you literally say, here's my income document, or W-2 as it's called. Type in the numbers, and put in your name and address. Done. Took 10 minutes. You're done, right? So now, the more complex it gets on top of that, basically the more expensive it gets. You know, well, I have income from a ton of sources. I have all these different kinds of expenses for the business. There's different thresholds and criterias of what is able to be written off, what's not able to be written off. You know, I paid this amount of taxes in this month and this amount of taxes in this month. Was it enough? Was it not enough? Is there fees? Is there something involved? Is there not? Did I overpay? It's like, it's insanely complicated, to say the least. I'm pouring through spreadsheets of data, picking out income transactions and the like. And like I told you guys, in previous years, it was actually even easier than it is this year. This year, it's even harder because I have to go through different kinds of documents to get my data. Normally, it would all be there at a glance, but because I had identity theft and other things messed up happen to me last year, there are certain things that just don't exist anymore. That used to be an easy way to get this data. It's just not fun, all right? So I'm not going to go into monstrous details about this. It's just super annoying, and it is what it is, and it takes a lot of time. I already spent 3.5 hours on it the other night. I got to spend all of tonight on it, and I don't know if that's going to be enough. I just basically kind of started going through the data, and it's very annoying. It is very, very annoying. Das Boche says, did tax codes change a few years ago? Honestly, Das Boche, I have no idea. That's what I pay my tax attorney for, to figure that shit out. I know that at one point, what happened was less things can be written off on your taxes if you own a small business, but at the same time, they increased what they called like the default amount you can claim anyway. So it was like, this thing is less, but this thing is more. And at some point, it kind of like, you know, adjusts or evens out. I have absolutely no idea if the tax code changing helped me or hurt me. I just give all the data. Numbers are crunched. I get told what I owe. That's how it works. And then I pay. Okay? So there you go. Anyway. Obviously, that's neither here nor there. And that's why I'm not going to go into detail about it. There's actually people, if you can believe this, Phil, why don't you stream you doing your taxes? And I'm like, what? I just want you to think about this for a second. Stream doing taxes. If you want to talk about the most absolutely ridiculous suggestion, the most stupid, over-the-top, lame-brain, dumb suggestion that could ever be made, stream doing someone's taxes. Why don't you stream yourself dealing with all of the personal data and financials behind your business, right? Totally couldn't be hurtful in any way to you, right? Oh, no. Oh, that would be... And by the way, I'm sure that would be super entertaining to most people, right? I mean, what the holy shit are you talking about? I don't know. People are just crazy, man. But anyway, that's why I'm not here tonight on the late stream. I would love to be here. I can't be. And I hope that things go well tonight and I can get through all the data. And then basically I could be here Monday night to stream, but there's absolutely no guarantee at this point. All right. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. There's anxiety going on, you know, whenever this time of year comes and I face the inevitable fact that I didn't pay enough taxes every year, no matter what. Yeah, it's kind of a looming dread over my head. And some years it's worse than others. And this year it's, you know, I'm worried for various different reasons, which I won't disclose here because, again, this is personal data here. But, yeah, it makes me nervous about stuff. And what I like is that when I come on these streams now, I can kind of, like, unwind and not have to think about that. Then tonight I got to fucking think about it all night, right? Like, ah, shit. So it is what it is. You know, but just so you guys know, that's why, and it sucks. I don't like having to talk about it. I don't like having to do it, obviously, but it's just a reality of life is when you get to a certain point, and you own your own business and stuff like this, you got to deal with all the behind-the-scenes crap. So, that being said, let's have a good time on the one stream that I actually get to do here live with all of you today, all right? So let's talk about that. Today, we're going to do a chilled pre-stream podcast. I don't have much to talk about on today's pre-stream podcast. We will recap a few things that happened yesterday. I will have an update on a few things. But for the most part, there's not a lot to talk about in particular on today's pre-stream podcast So likely, I will just do some Q&A and stuff with you guys. All right. So it should be a fun pre-stream regardless. Usually when we do open Q&A, we get a lot of different topics discussed and different things talked about, which is a good thing. And then we're going to do Elden Ring. Now, there's many different schools of thought on what I should do next in Elden Ring. One is that I should just skip all the stuff that's left. Skip Mount Gelmir, skip Volcano Manor, go right to the capital and start doing the capital. All right? That's one school of thought. Another school of thought is, well, I should go to Volcano Manor, and I should get as far as I possibly can in Volcano Manor, but don't do the final boss. Because once you beat the final boss, you lock yourself out of an NPC quest line. All right? And I should basically go to the final boss, stop, even though I won't know it's the final boss, people would have to tell me, I guess. Stop playing, all right? Head over to the NPCs, initiate the quest line, start this quest line, do the quest line, and the quest line takes you all the way into the capital, all right? So then go in the capital, do the capital, then when the quest line completes, go back and finish Volcano Manor. Okay? That's the two schools of thought right now on what to do today. I have no idea which is a better option. Either one is basically needs kind of buy-in from you guys to help me out so I know what I'm doing is the right thing. I know that sounds silly, but that's how convoluted the game is. You don't ever know if you're doing something that's leading you to progress or if you're shutting yourself out of something else. I'll give you an example. Two of the best parts of the game for me were the two forgotten cities. What were they? Noxstra or Nostro and Noxtella. They were really fun optional underground dungeons. I really enjoyed doing them. And they each led to optional awesome super bosses and or really good loot. And I was like, wow, I'm really happy that I did those because they paid off. It was actually rewarding to do those. You know what I'm saying? But that being said, I wouldn't have done those if you guys didn't help me out. Like, if you didn't explain, okay, so you have to do these optional things to unlock Radahn. Then you have to fight Radahn. Once Radahn's done, then it opens up this other area. Go down there into an optional dungeon. When you're there, find an optional hidden item. Give that to Ronnie. That unlocks the second half of the optional dungeon. Now do the second half of the optional dungeon, and that leads to this and this. And that, you know, I never would have known any of that. I would have never figured any of that shit out, you know? I'm appreciative of you guys, for letting me do that and telling me all about it. But that's what I mean. Like, it really meant that you guys needed to help me because that's how this game is. You guys know, unlike a lot of other people who are playing Elden Ring, I'm going to play it once. And then I'm not playing it again right away. If I ever do play it again, great. But there's absolutely no way I'm playing a game that's this lengthy twice in a freaking row, right? A lot of people out there who are content creators have literally played their first run and beat it within a week and a half. Their second run, they would beat it in another week. And they're on their third or fourth run with all these special criteria. So if they missed anything, you know, notable in their first one or two runs, they're still playing it. They go back and do it. But I am a variety streamer. And I am someone who is going to aspire to not just be playing one thing forever. And quite frankly, once I beat Elden Ring this one time, I don't really want to play it again for a while, if I do play it again. Not to say that I'm against that. I would definitely like to play it maybe a completely different build, like a magic build or something like that. But I absolutely want to get maximum enjoyment and maximum meaningful content out of the game in my first run. And that means doing all these optional side areas. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, those hidden cities, I never would have known existed if it weren't for these NPC quest lines that you guys helped me out with. So I hope that you will continue to help me. I'm now being told, skip the Volcano Manor quest line. The rewards aren't worth it. It's an armor set that I'm never even going to use. Oh, excuse me. So I don't know, man. I don't know. You know, again, should I just go right to the city today? Should I say, let's just do all of Volcano Manor, fuck it, do a legacy, you know, because it's supposed to be a legacy dungeon. Some people, it's really weird, because some people seem to be of the impression that Volcano Manor really sucks. Like, I saw more than a couple people say that, wow, I hate Volcano Manor, it really sucks, it's annoying. And then other people were like, no, actually, the Volcano Manor Legacy Dungeon is one of the best in the game, and I absolutely need to do it, or else I'm missing out on a giant portion of content of the game. And in fact, here we go again. The Volcano Manor questline is great, while someone else literally had just said, Ellipsian had just said, don't do it, all you do is get armor, it's not worth it. You see? Houston Ray says they're both fun, but don't postpone the manor for NPC quest lines. I don't know what to... It seems like, again, I'm in one of these situations where damned if you do, damned if you don't. Right? It seems like that. Like, if I start Volcano Manor and I don't finish it, people will complain, why'd you stop it in the middle? If I don't do Volcano Manor and I do the NPC quest line, people will say, well, why did you wait to do Volcano Manor? Now when you go to do it, you're going to be monstrously overleveled. It's not going to be challenging or fun anymore. So, you know, I don't know. Swaggin says, Volcano Manor takes you to an area past the capital, so you need to get past the capital. What? What? So what does that mean? Oh. And why does the game do this, right? Why is the game so convoluted when it comes to getting to the meaningful content that you need to have complex diagrams and guidance to figure this shit out? Like, here we are in 2022. From Software's been making these games since, what, 2009 and Demon's Souls? They haven't figured this out yet? That someone who buys the game wants the content and doesn't want to fuck about to try to figure out how to do it? Oh, I just want to keep going in circles trying to find fucking NPCs. I gotta listen to people, 12 different people tell me 12 different ways to do it because no one seems to be set on it. You know, like, why? Why can't you just make it fucking straightforward? Here's the quest. Do it if you want or don't. Not, oh, it's hidden shit. Oh, look, I was sitting on the fucking coin that opens the secret vault to a giant dungeon. And all along, it was stuck on my right ass cheek for about 14 hours of gameplay. I didn't see it there. Oh, here we go. You know? Dosboja says what he means is you can't complete the Volcano Manor until you can get to the midpoint of a different snow biome, and you really are better off progressing the capital city to get there. Ryu and Suiko says Volcano Manor's assassination missions, you get assigned to do them in various spots of the map, one after the capital. They're marked on the map, so it's not that bad. Are you guys under the impression I should do the capital city today? I should just go right into the front gate of capital city and walk in and take it on. Keep in mind, I have the shortcut into the capital city, but I'm thinking, why not do it the way that the original people or most people will do it, by going right through the main gate and taking it on that way? I think that might make more sense, rather than going in from behind, you know? It's even then, I don't know what to do. Look, now just think about that. Okay, we'll do the capital city. All right, how do I do it? Do I go in from the back end that I got from doing the optional side dungeon, or do I actually go in from the front gate? Like, or do I spin in place 3 times, hop on 1 foot, give myself an atomic wedgie, and blow my nose into a watermelon, and then a door opens, and that's the best way to do the capital city, right? Daz Boja says, capital city time, you'll get that smithing stone bell I was looking for southwest of the outer city. Oh my god. Darziak says, the main gate to the capital city will provide some boss fights. Only Isimina says, do both the front entrance first, then do the side entrance. Slayer says, I think you should enter from the front entrance, that way you're exploring everything. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll do that. Fuck it. We'll do that. We'll go to Altus Plateau, and we'll just ride straight in. By the way, I didn't miss anything on Mount Gelmer, right? I pretty much did everything over there. People did say there wasn't one dungeon I missed. I guess they were saying it was under the bridge. There's a dungeon, but I don't know if it's worth doing. Keep in mind, there's 2 optional dungeons I've opened. They're both one of those heroes' graves or whatever they're called, and I didn't do those yet either. So at any point, I can do those. If I feel like it, but if you guys feel like I should do Capital City, I'll just do Capital City first, right? By the way, I'm in no rush. I don't know how we're going to finish this game. You know? I'm certainly not in any rush. But the fact that I'm going to be balancing Elden Ring with other stuff from now on. You know, right now I'm 12 hours into Ghostwire Tokyo. I don't know how far into the game I actually am. You know, but 12 hours in. I think I'm in chapter 4 of the game. I don't know how many chapters it has. After Ghostwire, I'm definitely going to do something else. What will it be? I don't know. There's so many options at this point. There's Lego Star Wars. There's WWE 2K22, right? Or I could go back to Dying Light 2. You know, there's many options of things to do to balance with this. So, you know. There's an area I missed. The alternate way to get to the plateau without medallions as we're doing. No, wrong, Swaggins. I did that. You're talking about the mine. The mine you go through at the end, it's the magma worm. That's the real magma worm boss, not the easy one. That's how I got the magma worm sword. That's the sword I was using for the longest time. Unless you're saying there's a third way to get to the plateau, because I already did that. Okay. But anyway, the point I'm making here is, you see the way this game is designed and the insane amount of content and length. Like, I could literally be playing this till mid-May because I'm now balancing it with other stuff. Yeah. The Volcano Manor has a special weapon to fight it. Even if you're over-leveled, you can go back later and fight it with regular weapons, and it's difficult. I think today we're going to do the Capitol. I think that makes sense. Let's just fucking do it. Let's get it over. Let's kill all these assholes at the Capitol, right? Let's fucking slaughter their asses with jump attacks. Let's make no bones about it. I'm going to be jumping and slamming. All day long, there will be jumping slams, and these people will be paying for either... Actually, I take it back, because if I'm using the spear, it'll be the jumping pokes. But if I change it up, either over to the golden halberd or that flame sword, it'll be jumping slams. Then every once in a while, I'll use a special attack for a flourish, and I'll miss and lose all my health. That's what we're doing today. Okay. I agree, Emer. He says, well, it looks like April's a dead month for games. It is. April is pretty dead. I think in the entire month, you've got Lego Star Wars, and MLB 22 comes out on Tuesday. Not a big deal. And I think there's maybe one or two other games of the month, and they're not big releases. They're just, it's a really, really dead month for games. After 2 non-stop crazy release months, there's finally a relatively dead month for games. So, in that regard, yeah. Yeah. In that regard, it's interesting to see that there's other stuff that I'm... Thank God there's stuff I have to do, right? Like, I got Elden Ring, and we got all these other games to catch up on. So it's not like there's nothing going on. There's plenty going on in the month of April. Okay. Anyway. So, today, Elden Ring on the main gameplay stream. It sounds like we're taking on the capital city. I'm glad I just had that little discussion with everybody. That being said, this is my only stream. So I would appreciate it, guys, if you like my content, if you like Elden Ring, but in general, if you just like, me and you want to support the stuff, please support this stream. Essentially, this stream is supposed to make up for a whole day. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not going to be here for the second half. And I would appreciate it if you guys could support the stream today to hopefully make up for that. And thank you to anyone who contributes in any way today. All right? Tips, obviously, are in general are good because those are things that I can spend towards important things this week coming up. But in general, any support is much appreciated because I'm only doing one stream today. Okay? All right. So, Elden Ring on the main stream. No late stream tonight because of tax stuff. Tomorrow, back to a double stream day. It's going to be more Ghostwire Tokyo on the first stream. And that's going to be balanced with more Kirby and the Forgotten Land on the late stream. The Kirby playthrough is really good at this point. I've beaten the first 4 worlds and the Challenge Coliseum. So now we're heading into, I guess, what essentially is the second half of the game. Because what I don't understand, there's 3 more major worlds. And then there's like a secret world afterward that you can do. So I'm definitely interested in that to see, what it entails. But man, it's good. The game is so good so far. If you have not checked out the Kirby playthrough and you like either like action platformers or you just like in general Kirby or first party Nintendo games, everyone's saying this is one of the best games that's come out in years. And I have to agree. It's really, really good. So please give it a look. The playthrough's live here on DSPGaming. If you're not there for the live streams, at least give it a look. I think you're going to like it. Okay. Then on Monday, there's going to be an Elden Ring stream, and Monday night is up in the air. I would absolutely, positively love to play a late night stream of Skyrim Anniversary Edition with you guys on Monday night. But I cannot guarantee that because I don't know what's going to happen tonight with my taxes. If I get it all done, great. Then we could probably stream Monday night, but then there's another monkey wrench too. What if I submit all the information, I send it to my tax guy, and he shoots back to me and says, well, I need all this other stuff, which happens sometimes. You know, he's like, I got all this, but now, as a result of this, now I need this. You know, and in that regard, I don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not promising Monday night. I would like to be here, but I'm not promising it, okay? Then I'm off from streaming on Tuesday. It's my normal day off for the week. Essentially, it's going to be kind of just a day with my wife to spend together. You know, people say, what are you doing for your birthday for yourself? Nothing. I don't really have time, nor do I have the means to really do anything special for myself. So instead, just gonna have a day with my wife the day before my birthday, and just have a relaxing day. I think we have a few things we have to do. Like of all things, I think I have to go to the garbage dump this week. Oh, how exciting, right? My birthday celebration. Go throw trash out at the dump. But that's adult life, man. Then when I return on Wednesday, April 6th, okay, that will be the big day. That is the birthday bash marathon event. I'm actually turning 40 years old on Wednesday. As you can see behind me, the wall is very excited about that. What are we doing? A variety of games. What games? I still don't know. I really need to decide by like tomorrow at some point. All right. Really, I need to decide by like tomorrow what to do. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, well, the options are do Game Pass games, which is basically a variety of games from Microsoft Game Pass, such as Serious Sam 4, One Piece Pirate Warriors 4, I Am Fish, and maybe like one more. I'd probably pick like 4 games off of Game Pass and play each one for about an hour to an hour and a half, okay? Or play each of the 4 major games that I'm currently playing right now, like Elden Ring, Skyrim Anniversary Edition, Ghostwire Tokyo, and Kirby and the Forgotten Land for about an hour to an hour and a half each, and therefore I'll make progress in the games. And again, there's positives and negatives to both. The positives of playing the Game Pass games is that I'm doing a variety of stuff. It's not the same stuff I've been doing recently, and it actually allows me to play a little bit more in each of the games that I've really been liking from Game Pass. The bad news is it takes away from the games that I've been playing and further backlogs me into those playthroughs, okay? If I do play the 4 games that I've already been playing, the good news is I make solid progress in all of the games that I've been playing. You may have a chance for increased viewership from people who want to see each of those said games. What I would have to do is kind of like figure out the order I want to play them so that I can announce, okay, we're going to do this one first, then this one, so people know what's going on the stream and come to support those particular games. However, the bad thing about that would be, well, then the birthday celebration is essentially just me playing the games I've been playing all along, albeit in a more marathon setting with some special events wedged in, but it would still kind of just be the stuff I've been doing all along, right? So, I don't know yet. I just don't. What I want to do yet. You know, Lamar just said something. He said increased viewership for Ghostwire Tokyo and Kirby. You know, interestingly enough, that's a good point. If I'm doing a marathon on my birthday, and there's special events wedged in there, including Feasting with the King, which we're going to talk about in just a moment, or me having a piece of my birthday cake for the first piece that I'm trying, there's probably going to be increased viewership on those games. Normally when I'm playing those games, I'm not even kidding, I get about 200 viewers per game. But if it's the marathon event, we may get some more people. Okay? So, yeah, I'm interested. Maybe I should do that. You know, I'm thinking about it. I don't know. I got to think about what I want to do. By all means, please give me your feedback. One more day to give me your feedback before I make a determination for myself on what I want to do on my birthday. Okay? I just noticed that my fan is not oscillating. I must have hit the oscillate button and turned it off completely by accident. I'm going to go press the oscillate button. Give me a second. I like it when it feels like there's a breeze coming in here. It's a lot more refreshing. Hold on. Alrighty then. Okay. Alright, so I'll let you know. I'm going to think about it. And please give me your feedback over today. and I will make a determination tomorrow as to what we're actually doing on my birthday marathon on Wednesday. It'd be great if you guys can make it by, even if you're not interested in the games I'm doing or whatever, just because of the cool special events like Feasting with the King and stuff. It's still going to be a really cool marathon event. I'm excited to celebrate my birthday with you guys, so I hope you'll be here, okay? And then there's Feasting with the King. So let's talk about that. Yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, I set up a poll, all right? And on said poll, that is currently on the main page of this channel, DSPGaming, on the community tab, you guys are currently voting. And the voting is for the 3 types of cuisine that are eligible for this episode of Feasting with the King. For those who don't know, Feasting with the King is a special show that I do. We order food together early on during a marathon to be delivered during the course of the day. And when the food gets delivered, I basically eat the whole meal with you guys, and I rate the food and let you know my thoughts. Usually it's a cuisine that I'm not used to eating. It's something that's not, I would not eat it all the time. It's something that's out of the ordinary for me to eat. And so it's kind of like a special meal. And usually I try to order things that maybe I'm not used to having or I've never had before. So it's a first time tasting of said foods. So the 3 types of cuisine available are as follows: Thai food, Vietnamese food, and barbecue. All right. Currently, Thai food has 14% of the vote. Vietnamese food has 22% of the vote. And barbecue currently has 64% of the vote. So I think we know, out of the 3, at least initially, which one my viewership is more interested in. By the way, 817 votes within 24 hours. Okay? Posting polls up on the community tab of DSPGaming usually nets anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 votes within a few days. So that poll will continue to run at least for the length of today and into tomorrow. However, since there seems to be such an insane lopsided result, okay, likely what I will do, if this remains for tomorrow, okay, we're going to do a second poll. All right? Now, this poll will be very interesting. Okay? The second poll will be as follows: what kind of barbecue? Because under barbecue, there's subcategories, and I looked into it. Essentially, around here, there's 3 types of barbecue available, but sadly, one of them is not really good for delivery. Allow me to explain. There's American barbecue, which is down home, comfort food style, slow cooker meats. For example, roasted barbecue chicken, ribs of various types, barbecue pulled pork, beef brisket, you know, that kind of stuff. And there's more than that too. There's much more than that available. Like there's tips and stuff you can do, all kinds of stuff, right? So I'm thinking, wow, that's all barbecue that's available, and that's American style. Okay, now by the way, American style also has all these crazy sides, you know, beans, mac and cheese, corn, green beans, all kinds of stuff available that you can get with barbecue. All right, so that's one style. Another style would be Korean barbecue, which is very popular in this area. The problem is, looking into it, Korean barbecue is traditionally food that you go to the restaurant and you eat with your family or friends, and you cook it right there live. Like you pick your meats and things, and it gets cooked together, and then you eat it fresh. Or you buy the ingredients kind of raw and uncooked, and then you cook it at home. Obviously, I'm not doing that in my office. That's not going to happen. All right? So I looked into it, and even though, yes, you can get Korean barbecue to go, it's not the same menu as the stuff that you would cook fresh. Essentially, it's not an authentic experience, and therefore, I don't see the reason to get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that that would make sense. So I'm going to eliminate that. The other kind of barbecue that's available around here that's kind of interesting, Hawaiian barbecue. Now, why is that available in Washington State? Because Washington State is one of the westernmost states in the United States. We are one of the states closest to Hawaii, which is an island out in the Pacific Ocean. And this actually is the hub where people coming from Hawaii go to and leave. Like, they always fly through here in order to get in and out of the United States. So there's actually a hub of Hawaiian people who live here in Washington State and have various restaurants, okay? So that being said, I could get Hawaiian barbecue. Now you might say, well, what's Hawaiian barbecue? they have various different kinds of things. They do different meats that they barbecue in a different style than Americans do. If you can believe it, listen to this, because you might not even know this or believe this, but it's absolutely positively true. One of the key ingredients in Hawaiian barbecue is Spam in a can. Yes, I'm not kidding. That's true. And some people would say, well, why is that? That's so confusing. Spam in a can? Isn't that just canned processed ham? Yes, it is. But the reason that it's a key part of Hawaiian cooking is because I guess it originated way back in World War II, where I guess they were essentially during the war, they were cooking with whatever was readily available to them. And Spam in a can was one of the easiest things to get and or one of the most ready ingredients. And so they actually made what they consider gourmet dishes out of Spam in a can. Now, I've never had it. I know nothing about what it would taste like, or you know what I mean, or anything like that. So I have no idea if I would like it or if it would be anything good. If anything, that would be pretty interesting to try. Okay, and I know for a fact there's at least a couple restaurants around here that offer that as a traditional Hawaiian dish. You see? So, I guess we'll see, like, what I will do, let's see how the results are tomorrow. And if the results are barbecue still overwhelmingly in the lead, no chance that anything's going to possibly change or overtake it, then likely we'll do a second poll. And that poll will be, would you prefer if I did American barbecue, like traditional American, or Hawaiian style barbecue? Okay? So, and then we'll go from there. We'll see. We'll do a second poll. You guys vote, and then based on the voting, that'll determine what we order on Wednesday morning for my birthday bash marathon. Okay? Fair enough. All right. So, there you go. Let's see what happens with the polling over the next 24 hours or so, and then we'll determine that tomorrow. Okay? Cool. And like I also said, you know, my wife said she's gonna be making me a birthday cake, and so I'll be having a piece of that said cake during the marathon as well, probably near the end, as like a night-ending celebration, you know, dessert, the end of the delicious marathon course of gameplay and fun that we'll do during the course of my birthday. Okay, so that's gonna be Wednesday, and then later on in the week, it's just gonna be standard gameplay. You know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's gonna be full stream days again. You know, Elden Ring and Skyrim some days, and then Ghostwire Tokyo and Kirby other days. Maybe I'll flip that. Maybe I'll do it so it's Elden Ring and Kirby and Ghostwire and Skyrim some days for variety purposes. Maybe mixing it up, shuffling it up makes sense. In addition, yes, old school Street Fighter will return this coming week. I know it's now kind of been weird for 2 weeks, because 1 week it was on a Saturday night, which was weird. And then this week I didn't do it at all, right? So it will happen this coming week. It should be Friday night like usual. Shanks says, please respond to this. Since he asked for me to please respond, I will respond. Why can't you play a game that you want to play on your birthday? Why don't you play Zelda or Lost Odyssey? Because it doesn't make sense. To play Zelda on my birthday, like let's say Link to the Past is what I want to play. Play for an hour? It's a marathon, by the way. An hour and a half. I wouldn't even get long enough or far enough for it to make sense. Nor would I make good enough progress to say beat the game. For example, let's say I played all day. What if I said I'm going to play Link to the Past all day long on my birthday, right? And I play it for 6 hours. That's not enough to beat the game. When will I get back to it? So what's the point, right? The whole point is there's games out there that I've wanted to play for a while. I want to play Chrono Trigger again. Absolutely, I want to play it again. I want to play Earthbound again, okay? I do want to play Lost Odyssey at some point. I want to play Link to the Past again. So playing to those games, great. But at the same time, what's the point of playing them for one day and not getting anywhere in them, and then never having a chance to get back to them or not having them in the schedule, right? If I'm going to do those games, I want to actually put them into the schedule. So, for example, perhaps in the summertime, when things slow down dramatically around here, right? And there's not a lot of releases. I've caught up on all the releases that I've wanted to play and I've been backlogged on for months and months. I finally have opportunity to say, okay, it's time to pick a new slew of games to play. Maybe then I would say, let's do a summer of retro nights where each night I do a different retro style game, and what we can alternate between like Zelda and Chrono Trigger back and forth for our night streams or something like that, right? It wouldn't be the main gameplay streams every day, but it would definitely be mixed in, you know what I'm saying? So there you go. But I definitely don't think I should be starting up those playthroughs now when I'm in the midst of so many new games, right? That I've wanted to play and get through, and I'm just still playing them. It doesn't, and then I'm backlogged on new games, right? That it would not make sense to start those playthroughs right now. Okay. So, that being said, that's the plans for the week. Okay, I hope that sounds good to everybody. Yes, I'm aware there's Lego Star Wars and there's MLB The Show coming out this Tuesday. No, I'm not playing them at this time. I'm continuing on with the current playthroughs I'm doing. Once some of these games start wrapping up, then I will look to add new games to the rotation. Lego Star Wars is definitely one of the considerations, but also WWE 2K22 is another consideration that a lot of people have wanted, so I got to kind of think about it and weigh and balance what people want and go from there. Okay? Turtle Dude says, I miss your Fall Guys chill streams. I want to see you play sometime in the future. I mean, maybe as a one-off special thing. I certainly don't see myself going crazy playing Fall Guys again. Like, that was a kind of a cultural anomaly 2 years ago, right? During the pandemic, there wasn't a lot going on. It was free on PS Plus. For a little while there, it became virally popular on social media, and then Among Us completely destroyed it, and no one ever talked about Fall Guys ever again. Sad, because it really was way up here, and they didn't capitalize on it until it was too late. Their popularity was monstrously dwindling by the time that they tried to jump on capitalizing on it. So, okay. All right. Anyway, guys, so that's the deal for the coming week. Okay. Now, quick reminder. Right here, we do have a members goal in effect for the month of April. The members goal is that I will react to a long discussed video about me, a video that's been out for over 5 years. It has over 6 million views. That basically goes through my early years as a content creator on the internet. Discusses my ups and downs, a lot of my downs, but also some of my best moments as well. And essentially, it became a big talking point. Most people who know about me on the internet have seen this video at some point, okay? It's called Down the Rabbit Hole. And ever since it came out over 5 years ago, people said to me, Phil, will you ever cover it? Will you talk about it? And I was like, nah, I don't, I'm just here to make content. I don't really care. But the fact that, people have been basically telling me that there's really nothing interesting in regards to memberships. And I was like, well, I'm going to do something then that you guys have asked me to do for many years. I'm going to react to that video. I'm going to go through it, detailed, talk about each point in it, let you know my side of the story, and or if there's more elaborate situation than's really being discussed at a cursory glance in the video, or give you completely behind-the-scenes information to fully explain a lot of these situations that a lot of people don't know for the very first time. At this point, the stuff in that video is history. I really have reinvented myself, per se, since the video was made, and I'm a much different kind of content creator, and in a lot of ways a much different person than the old me that's discussed in that video, and therefore it's actually, I feel, beneficial to go back down someone's history, down memory lane, and look back at the past and say, here's what I did wrong, here's what I've done right to improve that, etc., etc. You see, I feel like it's finally time, okay? So, that being said, I think it would be something special to do. I even got permission from the guy who made the video to do it. He's actually looking forward to me doing it, okay? So, we have to hit the members goal this month, 400 members. If that doesn't motivate people to become a member, I don't know what will, and I literally give up. I'm not even kidding. Like, at that point, if I'm doing something now so outside of my comfort zone, so outside of the realm of stuff that I would normally do. It's not just normal content creation. It's not a marathon. It's not a playthrough. It's something so different. You guys have said, when will you do Phil Reacts? Well, I said, I don't want to do that. Well, here's a situation. It's a unique situation. You guys have asked for it for 5 years. I can definitely add something interesting and constructive, and it would be a meaningful piece of content for me to do this. Okay? So if that doesn't motivate you, right, to become a member outside of the other million things that you get for becoming a member, including highlighted name in stream chat and comments, Getting access to all my emotes in the stream chat and the comments, and not having to abide by the slow mode rules, getting a chat crown badge to show how long you've been a supporter, being able to get priority access to special events when things are nominated and voted on, you'll get priority to do that, and also getting priority access for when we do Ask the King again, which at this point is on hiatus because I'm so busy with games. What's the point of Ask the King at this point, right? But when it does eventually come back, you'll get priority to get your questions answered. Like all those other things, plus this special event where I will react to the Down the Rabbit Hole video about me. All right? All of that, if we can hit the membership goal. So, if you don't, think that any of that is valid to become a member, at this point, I actually have no ideas of what on the hell I could do that would entice people to become a member. It's got to be on YouTube's shoulders then. YouTube has to find a way to make it more profitable, or not profitable, but beneficial to you to become a member. There you go. Slayer is absolutely correct. Slayer says, we should try to make this goal possible and see how it goes because this has potential to be a series. You're right. If this goes well, okay, there's no reason why in the future we couldn't do other similar things. Okay? There's absolutely no reason. But we have to see how the first one goes before you plan that far ahead, right? Okay. All right. So, all that being said, guys, I hope that sounds good. Please consider becoming a member today. All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Let us get to shout-outs, and then let's get to Q&A. All right? So let's start with shout-outs for today. We're starting on the YouTube side. We actually start off with OK, who did a super chat saying Elden Ring Marathon. Well, no. I'm absolutely positively under no circumstances playing Elden Ring all day on my birthday. I like Elden Ring. I enjoy playing Elden Ring when I do play it on streams. And yes, I would not mind having it as a part of my birthday celebration. There's absolutely no freaking way at all that I am going to be doing Elden Ring all day on my birthday. That's not a desirable thing to me. Okay. Nefarious Acts has become a channel supporter. Thank you to Nefarious Acts. Let's take a look. I'm actually curious where we are. I did not check this morning to see where we were for channel members. So let me refresh this reading here and see what it says for total members and see where we are and see if I need to update this or not. We are currently at 359 members. So there you go. Okay. Random New Yorker just became a channel supporter. So if that is correct, actually we should be at 360. I'm going to say 360. That could be off by one. But I'm going to say it's at 360 right now because it seems like he just joined this moment. There you go. Thank you to Random New Yorker and thank you to Nefarious Acts for becoming channel members this morning. I appreciate your support. On the tip side of things, we start off today with a tip from Slayer. Thank you, Slayer, for the $1.50 tip. He's giving us a little update on his progress in Elden Ring. He says the following. I defeated the tree spirit under the castle. Congrats. It's much easier now with the golden halberd and jump attacks. Absolutely. In fact, I wonder if you even staggered it, because if you hit it like 4 or 5 times in a row uninterrupted, you can stagger it. I went to Liurnia. Good. I found the eastern map. Good. Should I do West Liurnia and find a map or east? Alright, without major spoilers, if I'm remembering correctly, both east and western Liurnia. Now, I'm not talking the lake, but the two edges of Liurnia, because there's the way Liurnia is set up, it's a long, lengthy map like this, kind of like, almost like a tree when you really think about it, okay? The center is a lake. In that lake, there's a lot of enemies. There's stuff to do. There's the major dungeon of the region is in that lake, okay? You can't get into the dungeon right away. You do have to find a way to get in. If you explore the lake fully, you will find the way to get in, okay? So just so you know. That's not a spoiler, it's just a little bit of guidance. Around the edges of said lake in Liurnia are elevated areas, like giant, cliff sides and all kinds of stuff around the edges. There's tons of stuff there. Just off the top of my head, I know for a fact there's optional dungeons with rare items, some of which leading to quests. There's 1 or 2 minor Erd trees that have, things for your flask of your flask of magical physic or whatever the hell it's called. I believe there is a church, and in this church, it's called the Church of Vows. There's a unique NPC. This is the best NPC in the game for Magic. You can actually give this NPC any of the Magic documents that you pick up during the course of your playthrough, and this NPC will be able to teach you said Magic. So it makes sense to get there as well. Geez, there's so much in that area. I'm trying to think. Just all around. And then to the far northwest, there's an optional dungeon. It doesn't have to be done, but it's definitely interesting and unique. And if you do it, you get a hell of a lot of sorcery stuff. It doesn't sound like you're using sorceries in your build. But definitely there's enemies and unique things there that are fun and interesting. And if you complete that optional dungeon, you can actually advance a side quest line in the game. So, honestly, it depends. Like, what do you want to do first? Do you actually want to make major advancement in the story and the plot and do a major legacy dungeon? If that's what you want to do, check out the center of the map, the lake part, and just go from south all the way up exploring and doing all that stuff, and you're going to find tons of content there, all right? If you're not so interested in, you know, that major advancement, then do the edges. And actually, I would say either side is fine. I don't think either end is necessarily harder than the other, although that far northwestern optional dungeon definitely is meant to be done a little bit later. Like, you should do other stuff first and then maybe do that later. That's what I would say. So, okay. Hopefully that helps. The Dude Samurai has tipped me $20. It won't blow for more than like a quarter second, then it goes. Anyway, the Dude Samurai, thank you for the $20 tip. Shit. My hand was not on the home row keys. Excuse me, the Dude Samurai. Excuse me, I can't stop burping. Did a $20 tip. Thank you so much. He says the following. DSP, I'm a huge fan. I was inspired by you and many others to start streaming. I'm actually attempting my first ever 12-hour stream. I have you in the background of spiritual support. You the man. Well, the Dude Samurai, if you are going to live stream for 12 hours, I will strongly recommend that you take breaks. I know for a fact there are some content creators that don't usually do that, or they don't do it on a regular basis. It is not good for you. The human body is not meant to sit around for 12 hours straight. I would say between every 1 to 2 hours, take at least a 10-minute stretch break to get up, stretch, walk around your house, move your body, get your blood flowing, use the restroom, hydrate yourself, etc. I also strongly recommend you do have some snacks in there. Do not go the entire length of that session without eating anything. That would be very bad for you. So there you go. Okay? That's what I would suggest. Fair enough? Okay. And good luck. I hope that your 12-hour stream goes well. Anso Kamaru has sent me $1.50 and says, spam is considered a delicacy in certain cultures due to the war. During my years in South Korea, spam was given as a gift to families during special holidays and also presented in my it's also present in my dishes, one being a delicious meal called army stew. Listen, I am absolutely positively open to different kinds of cuisine. I understand that a lot of different things would sound weird as a part of a gourmet meal. At the same time, I don't necessarily think it's always about Oh. I didn't even know there was a plastic tube in the middle of this. I thought it was just the things, but that's pretty stupid to think that those things would stand up on their own with no plastic tube in the middle, huh? That was pretty dumb of me. Anyway, yeah, I know that it's not necessarily just about the ingredients. It's all about the preparation, right? So, yeah, even though spam in a can sounds like a weird ingredient, what do you mean? Processed meat crammed into a can with tons of preservatives to make it last a long time? How could that possibly be any kind of a gourmet meal, right? Because it's all about the preparation, man. You have no idea. When you break down base components of cuisine, it's all base stuff, right? You gotta think of different kinds of ingredients and things that go into cuisine. Whether it's protein, it's dairy, grains, you know, and different various seasonings to add flavor and stuff. It's all the same base components when you break it all down. It's just the way it's presented to you. Yeah, Spam in a can is processed meat that has a bunch of preservatives in it. That doesn't mean that if you add various ways to cook it, you know, cooking, preparation, seasoning, it doesn't mean it's not going to taste good. You know what I mean? So, and by the way, that's interesting to me because I've almost never had Spam. I think I've maybe had it once or twice when I was a kid. My mom made something with it quick or something. I really have not had it much. So it would be interesting to me to actually have it in what's considered a gourmet level dish and see how it tastes. So, interesting. And thank you, Anso Kamaro, for sharing. I'm glad to hear that you actually are cooking with that. You know, I'm sure it's probably good what you make. Army stew. Okay. An anonymous $2 tipper. Okay. Asks a question. And this is a question that I will answer. Okay. So here is their anonymous tipper question. Thank you for the anonymous tip, anonymous tipper. What is making me hesitant to become a member is that my YouTube name is my real name and has some videos with friends and family. You've indicated that it may not be wise to use that on your channel. Correct. In fact, I would argue that's not wise to have on the internet at all. Okay. Sadly, I hate to say it. At one point, the internet was a place where it wasn't widespread enough. It wasn't mainstream enough. And it wasn't a situation where, like, anyone was really at risk by putting personal information on the internet. Those days are long gone. Like, I would say, like, the mid-2000s, everyone was opening a Facebook account. Facebook was the hot thing. Everyone, hey, here's my Facebook, share my Facebook. Oh, after work, I go out with my family and my kids to a restaurant, and we post up our favorite place to hang out. Oh, then I go out with my friends to a bar, and we geotag our photos, and we paste them all over the place. And by the way, here I am at my bank taking out a loan, and here I am on vacation doing this, and here I am doing that. And it's basically the worst thing you could possibly do. But when people started getting into it so heavily in the mid-2000s, no one actually realized the repercussions of putting all your information out on the internet and how it could actually be used against you in a harmful manner. Personally, I never, ever thought that half the shit that I said and did on the internet could be twisted in the ways that it has to hurt me, okay? And I'm not just talking about, oh, defamation, someone makes a defamatory statement about Phil. I'm talking about, like, right straight up taking that information and trying to do harmful things with it, impersonating me. You know, I just told you guys I had identity theft last year, right? I never fathomed that that would happen to me. I'm a careful guy. By the way, it happened not because of me. It happened because of the carelessness of another company, you see? So you have no idea. Just having a little bit of information out there, how that could go a long way to hurt you, okay? And all these people need is a little piece of information, a private piece of information about you, and that can snowball into something where they have access to this and that, where they figure this out and that out and this out and that out, and it goes all over the place. And next thing you know, they have a whole profile of data on you that can now be weaponized against you in various ways. Okay? And by the way, it's not just, oh, you know, this person has a vendetta against me and that's why they're doing it. There are people out there who they literally have absolutely nothing to do with their lives. Their life is meaningless. They get no pleasure. They have absolutely no purpose in life. So what do? Well, if I can make an impact on someone's life today, whether it's absolutely horrendously negative or not, I want to have that impact. So if I can find a way to fuck with someone and harass them online and get a rise out of someone, or I know that I caused someone personal misery, I at least had some kind of an impact, and therefore I feel like my time was well spent. I'm not kidding you. There's people like this on this planet. They're called sociopaths, and there's lots of them on the internet sitting around waiting for an opportunity to jump on shit like this. Hell, there's a whole fucking website of them that lists shit about me on a daily basis. Okay? So that being said, yes, I absolutely, positively, strongly recommend you do not ever put that kind of privatized information on the internet at all, or if it's already out there and there's nothing you can do about it because you didn't think about that prior, all right? Instead, make a completely new account. Make an account that has absolutely no ties to your real life persona, your real life information. Make something up out of the blue. If it's fucking Squishy Blueberry 724 and literally you don't like blueberries, you prefer them firm, and 724 has nothing to do with anything in your life, that's the best name you could possibly make for yourself. All right? And then don't use an email you use with other accounts. Seriously, make up a new email account. Make everything up fresh. Make a whole new online persona for yourself. Because the last thing you want is for someone to get a bug up their ass about something you say and do anywhere on the internet and then come after you in real life for it. That is the nightmare scenario, and I have lived it. So, that is my best recommendation for all of you, all right? And I understand that a lot of you can't do that or whatever. You got to be careful in this day and age. There's so many people out there who are just messed up and they want to hurt no matter what for no reason. And man, I hate hearing horror stories because I've heard horror stories over the years. I got doxxed, I got harassed, this happened, that happened. It's like, you don't deserve it. You did nothing to deserve it. These people just like to mess with people. That's it. That's all it is. They go after people just to mess with them. And it doesn't matter what you say or do. It's not going to change the fact that these people are malicious and they're just going to keep messing around. So, you know. Kagome, no problem. You actually genuinely got me last night. So yesterday, for those who don't know, yesterday was April Fool's Day. And I didn't do any April Fool's pranks. Literally no one did, but Kagome said something so, like, arbitrary but kind of interesting in the chat that I believe he's like, oh, I want a trip to Japan. This is really cool. I was like, oh, that's awesome. How did you win it? April Fool's. I was like, he got me. Like, legit got me. And the rest of the day, nothing fooled me. The most simple thing fooled me. That's sometimes how it works, right? There was tons of stupid, elaborate, dumb shit posted on Twitter that was all dumb pranks. I was like, how would you ever believe it? You have to be a fucking idiot to believe any of this dumb shit. Anyway, you did get me, Kagome. Darkside Chris has tipped me $10. Thank you very much, Darkside Chris. He says, there's a Hawaiian barbecue restaurant in Seattle. It's called the Kauai Family Restaurant. It serves traditional barbecue dishes that we have out here that are good, like lokomoko, chicken katsu, kalua pork, spam, musubi, and lots more, my friend. I'm happy to hear that, Darkside Chris. Sadly, I don't live in Seattle. I live in an outskirt of Seattle. It's about 30 to 45 minutes away. There's no way I'd be able to order delivery from Seattle. They don't deliver this far. But it's good to know. I actually am aware that there are a couple Hawaiian restaurants in my area. At one point, a long time ago, I ordered from one and tried it, and I actually really liked it. But I did not do much from the restaurant. And what I mean by that is I did not actually order much from the restaurant. If I remember correctly, I think what did I get? I had gotten like I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure I had gotten like some kind of fish. They had some kind of a fish thing, and it was some kind of a white fish, but it was also like some kind of shrimp, like barbecue shrimp, and something else. I can't exactly remember what it was. My wife got the barbecue like beef, and I think barbecue short ribs, and I had like a quick bite of each, and I was like, whoa, this tastes really good. But that was a long time ago, and I didn't eat it all. I only had like a bite of each, but I didn't get any of the special specific stuff. Like I didn't get that spam or anything like that. So there's definitely unique cultural stuff that you can get there that I have never tried. Okay. But anyway, yeah. So sadly, I would not be able to, order from a place in Seattle. There's no way they're going to deliver this far. But there's other viable alternatives from around here that I could try. Okay. Now on the YouTube side of stuff, more contributions have come in. Let's switch back over. We've got 6, which is number 6, and then IX, so it's like 66, or just 6, or 66. But they became a channel member. Thank you very much for that. And Swaggins re-upped his membership for 9 months in a row and says, I only have 50 characters, so I can't say any, and then it cut off. So there you go. I'll check again. Let's see how we're doing on members. Maybe we actually went up another member. I don't know. Jade says, last night, WWE Hall of Famers, the new WWE Hall of Famers, the Steiner brothers, Sharmell, who's Booker T's wife, Shad, Gaspar, The Undertaker, and Vader were all inducted. And he says, and he didn't miss the stream either. That's cool. That's awesome. Jade, if you want to watch WrestleMania this weekend and you can't be on my streams, I totally understand, man. You don't have to be here for every stream. Don't feel pressure. I know you like the content. I know you like my stuff, but, you know, WrestleMania weekend comes once a year. I know you really like pro wrestling. Feel free to watch, and, you know, if you can't be here every moment, that's cool, man. You can always get caught up later. We'll miss you, but it'll be cool to get to see you later. You know, if you want to just watch wrestling, it's totally cool. We are at 361 memberships. 361. What the shit? That's... Oh, yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday, Lord Shilgarath. Hope you have a good day. Okay. Ooh. Okay, so ladies and gents, I think we finished with the shout-outs for now. Does anyone have any other thing they would like to talk about? Any questions? Anything to discuss before we jump into Elden Ring for today? Any questions or concerns, comments, criticisms? Hopefully constructive criticisms, not just defamation and insults. I have plenty of those. I would prefer constructive. Happy Saturday to you, Guts. Good to see you here today. Welcome back, right? Because you haven't been here for a couple days. Straight Basement Productions says, if the reaction video does well, would you be comfortable doing reactions of This Is How You Don't Plays? Well, allow me to answer that in an intelligent manner. This Is How You Don't Play videos originally started off as videos where it was just people making fun of my gameplay and basically saying I suck at games. I'm totally on board for that, right? You want to sit there for an hour and riff on me and say I suck at games? Big deal. I'll probably laugh along with you because I did suck at games, right? I don't care about that. The problem is that over a time period of several years, those videos evolved from Phil sucks at games to Phil is a bad person who does dishonest and things that are bad. And not only will we delve into the gameplay aspect of what he's doing, but now these videos become an open season opportunity to literally defame Phil. And what I mean by that is, it wasn't, oh, Phil sucks at this game. It then became, let's look at the comments of the video. And if you take a look, at the comments, it would be personal insults about myself, my family members, stuff that literally has absolutely nothing to do with the content of the video. You understand what I'm saying? I don't mind. This is how you don't play video that's like, oh, Phil sucks at said game and let's watch his fails and make fun of him and laugh at his misfortunes. Big fucking deal. If I cared about people making fun of me sucking at a game, I wouldn't have released the video to show that I sucked at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one who put that content out there to begin with, so I don't really care if people laugh at me and say I suck at a particular game. It's not a big issue. For me, it's essentially, oh, here comes a bunch of really nasty, disgusting personal insults, personal information being revealed or doxed, that has nothing to do with the content of the gameplay whatsoever, or drama shit that has nothing to do with it that's not even true, right? How many videos were made over the years that literally just were conspiracy theory shit? You know what I'm saying? And it's really sad, because when you start to look at the origin of This Is How You Don't Play, that's not what it was, nor was that ever its intention. Look at the original video that razzed me, that had Slow Beef and that other guy, I think it was called Ret Super Rye or whatever. The purpose of that video was not to sit there and say Phil is the worst person on planet Earth and let's destroy him in his life and his livelihood. The purpose of the video was to razz me for bad gameplay. It wasn't that big of a deal. The problem was that when people started making videos about let's make fun of Phil and how bad he is at games, it basically became a contest of how far you could push that boundary of negativity and toxicity for personal gain. It basically became nothing is off limits. We can literally say anything we want about Phil and get away with it and make views and money on it. Oh, by the way, we can actually even make shit up about Phil and still make views and money on it. You see what I'm saying? So eventually what ended up happening, was This Is How You Don't Play was still called This Is How You Don't Play because people wanted to jump onto that popularity bandwagon. They knew that previous This Is How You Don't Play videos had actually gotten very popular, right? And they wanted to continue on that wave of popularity and get that attention and money for those videos. But the videos weren't that anymore. They became these really harmful, toxic, nasty things. Now, how do I discern between them, right? Like I would say, all right, I could go back and I could watch some of the original This Is How You Don't Plays about me, right? And react to them. I could do that. And maybe those would be a little bit more valid. However, I'll be honest with you. I don't think I would ever be able to get permission to do that. Because back in the day, okay, when those guys from Red Super Rye, or whatever the fuck they were called, because I don't even understand who they were or what their name was back then. They're completely not relevant anymore. When they were doing that active stuff and they made the video about me, admittedly, I reacted in a bad way. I was like, why are they stealing my content without my permission? No one's ever done this before. No one's taken my gameplay without asking me first and done this kind of a montage style with negativity attached to it. In fact, if they had asked me and said, hey, we're just going to razz you a little bit, can we do this? I probably would have said yes, but they didn't ask me. They were the first people who actually had taken the content without my permission and done this. And so really not understanding what it was, I kind of reacted very poorly to it. And I actually feel that's some of the reason why those original This Is How You Don't Play videos blew up the way they did. It's kind of like, well, here's a guy who's a hotshot video gamer on YouTube, and he's popular, but he's not good. He's just popular because everyone likes to laugh at his misfortunes and how much he rages and sucks at these games. So now someone's basically making montages of his content. You don't have to watch the raw videos anymore. Let's go watch them. And I felt like that was taking away from my viewership and my market share, and it was. It actually was. People were actually now watching those montage videos as opposed to my videos. You see, it was definitively taking away from the stuff that I was doing. So there's bad blood there, because I remember back in the day when those videos essentially got worse, when it started to be more toxic and more insulting, and basically people created this whole hateful memeing community about me. Phil sucks, he's a terrible person, and everything he does is bad, and it's our job to bring him down on the internet. He doesn't deserve any positivity or popularity in his life. Let's destroy him. That's essentially what happened. It became this weird movement, this cultish movement of anti-DSP people. Okay? When that happened, and you went back to the origins of how it started, I kind of said, well, you know, the first people who did it was Red Super Eye. And they never asked me about it. It wasn't, even though I don't feel like the video was mean-spirited, if they had maybe asked me about it and got permission first before they did it, and then we had all agreed to a consensus, yeah, go ahead and do it, then I might have even watched the video and laughed at it. But instead, it was kind of something that blindsided me, and people were like, are you aware someone stole all your content and made this montage that's negative about you? I didn't really understand what it was at the time. And again, it was the first time someone had done something without my permission, and it kind of shocked me. And I had a very bad reaction to those guys. And ever since then, kind of going back and saying, yeah, just so you know, this is really the origins of it. These are the guys who are responsible, because if they never made the first video, then maybe This Is How You Don't Play never would have exploded and gotten popular the way that it did, because they were the ones who were kind of like the test group to show that this content could be popular or entertaining. And they basically don't want to live up to the repercussions of what they've done. And what I mean by that is, did they actively choose to take my content without my permission? Yes. Did they actively choose to make a negative video out of said content and completely ignore the positives and only highlight the negatives? Yes. Okay? Did they actively promote and benefit from said content on the internet? Yes. So those are three active things they did that they could have done better, in my opinion. Okay? That maybe if I had been involved in the process wouldn't have resulted in such negativity towards me. But I was never involved in the process. It was all just a shocking, blindsiding thing. And it was kind of like, oh, well, it's up to you to be mature enough to know how to react to this. Well, I wasn't. I was immature. I was stupid. I was younger, way younger than I am now, like by almost 10 years. And I didn't understand what it was. And the content kind of shocked me that someone would just take my shit without asking. And it made me react in a bad way. And it ended up really blowing up negatively for me. Okay? So what I said back in the day, and this was like a decade ago, I was like, I really feel like those guys from Red Super Eye are responsible for a lot of the negativity that's pushed towards me now, because they're the ones who started it all. If they had gone about it more professionally, then maybe I wouldn't be in the situation I am today. Now, today I look back on that and I say, that's only partially true. Yeah, it's a lot because of the stupid way that I reacted to it. If I just laughed at it, or maybe even started making my own style of that kind of content, it probably wouldn't have blown up the way that it did in a disgusting, toxic way. But to some extent, you have to admit, if they were the originators of said content and the ones who did it first without my permission, they're kind of responsible for at least lighting the little spark that blew into the giant forest fire. You see? They don't believe that at all. They staunchly, over the years, defended themselves, saying that what they did they have no responsibility. They didn't do anything wrong. Everything they did was a transformative work, and they did that for many, many other content creators, and never did any of them ever get any negative repercussions for the things that they did, including SSOHPKC, who's a content creator that's kind of, at that point, we were kind of similar in the style and level of the content that we were putting out. And apparently they did it to him too. And when they did it to him, I guess nothing negative happened. But they do it to me, and then there's an insanely huge toxic movement against me. You know? Well, what was the difference there? Well, it was Phil's reaction, right? To some extent, they're correct. I'm not going to say it's 100% on them. I'm not going to say it's 100% on me. I think it was an actual, absolutely unique situation that resulted in what it did. But the point I'm making here is, there was always bad blood because they literally would not admit any responsibility at all. To them, they were always like, we did absolutely nothing wrong. We didn't have to ask for any permission or do anything. We could do whatever we want with anyone's content, and you basically just deal with it. By the way, no one else got hurt but Phil, so who cares, right? That was always their attitude. And so over the years, every once in a while, even without me even like talking or mentioning them, that Slow Beef guy says something stupid or nasty about me. All right? I don't even know the guy. I've never seen a piece of his content ever. And I don't talk about the guy, nor do I care. But whenever a topic like this comes up and I'm talking about history, usually I mention it. And then all of a sudden he comes out of the woodwork. Oh, here's something negative about Phil that I can say today. All right? Whatever. He might even say something negative about this today. Who cares? I don't give a fuck about the guy anymore. But the point I'm making here is, for me to do these videos, I want to get explicit permission from the people who made the videos to do the content, and here's why. It's easy to argue fair use, but I'm a different case, where if I were to do that, what's to say that they won't just hit me with a flagrant, copyright takedown request? Even if it's not legit, and you can argue, well, that's fair use. Phil's just doing to other people what they did to him at first. What's to stop them from filing a completely superfluous takedown request anyway, just to fuck with me, right? I mean, let's be honest here. These people don't like me, right? It's probably why they made the videos to begin with, all right? So there's nothing to stop them from hitting me with a strike and then me having to clean it up, all right? And I would rather absolutely not deal with a strike on this channel, because I don't know what the repercussions of said strike would even be. I don't know how it would affect the channel. I don't know if I would lose, features. Like what? I mean, the good news is I have backups. I've basically done my homework, and I have backups so that if anything does ever happen against Darkside Phil, against DSPGaming, obviously I have other YouTube channels that I can use as an emergency backup if I need to go over to KO Gaming and use it for a little bit to do daily streams or whatever. If I need to go over to the King of Hate Vlogs and reinstate the channel temporarily just for, what I'm saying. I have backups that's okay. If something does happen bad to this channel, until I get it cleaned up, I have other ways to distribute my content. This is not, oh God, the whole business comes to a crashing halt. If something happens to DSP Gaming. Thank God that I have those redundancies in place. But still, I'd rather not have that happen. You know what I'm saying? So, unless I could absolutely get an outright permission from someone who created those videos, there's no way that I'd be doing Phil reacts to it. This is how you don't play, because I'm not going to chance it. It's just not worth it. You know what I mean? I got outright permission to do a Darkside Phil reacts to Down the Rabbit Hole Darkside Phil. I have it in writing. The guy is on board. He actually wants to see it. So, you see what I'm saying? I'm good in that regard. But I can't take that extra level of risk. I just can't do it. It's not worth it to risk the whole business. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Alice Telebon took me $1.50. Says full beard for the win. He really, 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 really wants me to grow a full beard. And Darkside Chris took me $5. Said I did more research just now. Near you, I hope I'm right. There's a couple different places. One's called L&L Hawaiian Barbecue. It's like a fast foodie version of Hawaiian barbecue, but it's still good. If not, there's another place called Aloha Grill that has the stuff that I mentioned. Yeah, and you know, there's options. There's definitely options out here, and I will if we end up doing the poll and it ends up being Hawaiian barbecue, which we don't even know. We're getting ahead of ourselves. It may end up being American barbecue, in which there's also many options out here. We'll figure it out, okay? But yeah, there are options, and that's a good thing. 672 just to be $6.72 says if WWE could if I got WWE, excuse me, could I play you in a custom match? I'll pick Wings of Redemption, and you can pick whoever. Either way, if not, things like this would be a good way to play custom matches with members. I don't even know how it works. In that regard, I would have to look into it. I'm not going to make promises of something that I don't even know if it works. I really got to do something about hitting this thing on the floor. I've done it about a dozen times in the last 2 days. Thank you for the tip. I Leviathan tipped me $3. Said yesterday I had to go to the hospital. It was bad. That sucks. I had an epileptic seizure. I was in danger. I barely made it. What triggered it was Ghostwire Tokyo? Really? He's saying that that game is flashy, and it actually caused him problems. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't most video games still have the epileptic seizure warning at the boot screen? I think they do. It's that fine print we all skip and we don't pay attention to, right? So technically, every single game has their ass covered. As long as they put that warning up when the game boots, they literally are covering their own butt, and sadly, there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. That's unfortunate. Because that is the truth. If you're telling the truth, I'm really sorry about that. Obviously, you know, you don't think about that, but I think legally they cover their own butts when they put that splash screen up when the game boots. So, sadly, there's nothing that can really be done about it. I guess what I would say is you gotta be careful, especially a game like that. You saw how many colors and flashy things happen in a game? A lot, right? At any time when you're doing combat, the whole screen's full of flashy shit. But I think that's the risk you take with any video game, right? Tons of video games these days now have these crazy complex graphics and things going on. Even me, to some extent, I get overwhelmed sometimes playing modern games with the amount of shit, the flashiness, the color contrast and shit that happens on screen. Sometimes my eyes bug out, and sometimes it gives me a headache, and I can understand as someone who has a medical condition how risky it can be and how bad it could be. I mean, that's terrible. Losing control of your body, man. Holy shit, I can't even imagine. So I'm sorry to hear that happen. If it really did happen, I wish you the best. And I'd say you gotta be careful. You definitely gotta be careful about that kind of stuff. Not only playing the games, but watching other people play games. I guess it's an added level of risk, huh? That, you know, most of us don't think about. But yeah, absolutely, it must be there. Okay. That's about it, guys. Let's end the pre-stream. I think we covered quite a lot today. Let's end the pre-stream. And I think today with Elden Ring, I think we've determined our course for today is to head to the capital city, right? I think that is what we should do. And I think that we should see what we can do. All right? And see how far we can get. I don't know how far we'll get in the capital city. I don't know how long it is. I'm sure it's a humongous dungeon area, right? But I think we're going to try it out. All right, guys? So thank you. Great pre-stream podcast today, as I knew. When I told you guys it would be open Q&A and discussion, I knew it would kind of go everywhere, and it's fine that it did. And I hope that you guys enjoy today's stream. Thank you for a great podcast. Let's begin. Awesome.